Imagine a world where your inner peace is unshakable, where no external force can disturb your tranquility, where you move through life with grace and power, unbothered by the chaos around you. This isn't just a dream, it's a reality that you can create for yourself starting today. Welcome. I'm here to share with you a profound truth that has the power to transform your life. It's a simple concept, yet one that many of us struggle to grasp and implement. Are you ready? Here it is: be silent and act as if nothing bothers you. Now, I know what you might be thinking. That's easier said than done, and you're right, it is. But I'm not here to tell you what's easy. I'm here to tell you what's powerful, what's transformative. What can take you from a life of constant reactivity and stress to one of calm, focused action and inner strength? Let's break this down. First, be silent. This doesn't mean you should never speak. It means learning the power of measured response, of pausing before you react, of creating a space between stimulus and response where your true power lies. Think about the last time something really bothered you. Maybe it was a rude comment from a coworker, a driver cutting you off in traffic, a negative news story that sent your mind spiraling. How did you respond? Did you lash out? Did you let it ruin your day? Did you carry that negative energy with you, infecting every subsequent interaction? Now imagine if in that moment you had chosen silence, not a passive, weak silence, but a powerful, intentional silence. A silence that says, I choose not to be controlled by external circumstances. A silence that allows you to respond rather than react. This silence isn't just external. It's internal too. It's about quieting that constant chatter in your mind. That voice that's always judging, always comparing, always worrying about the future or regretting the past. When you cultivate inner silence, you create space for clarity, for wisdom, for true understanding. But silence alone isn't enough. That's where the second part comes in: act as if nothing bothers you. This doesn't mean becoming numb or indifferent. It means choosing your responses consciously rather than being at the mercy of your immediate emotional reactions. When you act as if nothing bothers you, you're not denying reality. You're not suppressing your emotions. You're rising above the petty annoyances and distractions that so often derail us. You're choosing to focus your energy on what truly matters rather than wasting it on things you can't control. Think about the people you admire most, the great leaders, thinkers, and change makers throughout history. What do they all have in common? They have an unshakable core. They don't get thrown off course by every little obstacle or criticism. They keep their eyes on their vision, their purpose, their truth. You have this same power within you. Right now, in this moment, you have the ability to choose how you respond to life. You have the power to be silent in the face of provocation, to act with grace under pressure, to move through the world as if nothing can disturb your inner peace. But let me be clear, this isn't about becoming a doormat. It's not about letting people walk all over you or ignoring injustice. It's about choosing your battles wisely. It's about conserving your energy for what truly matters. It's about developing the inner strength to stand firm in your truth, regardless of what's happening around you. Imagine how your life would change if you embodied this principle. How would your relationships improve if you no longer engaged in petty arguments or took things personally? How would your work life transform if you approached challenges with calm determination rather than stress and anxiety? How would your self-image shift if you no longer needed constant external validation? This is the power of being silent and acting as if nothing bothers you. It's a practice, a discipline, a way of life, and like any skill, it takes time and effort to develop. But the rewards are immeasurable. So how do we begin to cultivate this power? It starts with awareness. Begin to notice your reactions throughout the day. When something bothers you, pause. Take a breath. Create that space between stimulus and response. Ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Is reacting going to improve the situation or just drain me further? Practice responding with silence, not a sullen, angry silence, but a calm, centered silence. A silence that speaks volumes about your inner strength. Watch how this changes the dynamic of your interactions. Then practice acting as if nothing bothers you. This doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or pretending they don't exist. It means choosing not to let them control your actions. Feel the emotion, acknowledge it, then let it pass through you without acting on it. Start small. Maybe it's not reacting to a minor annoyance at work. Maybe it's choosing not to engage in gossip or drama. Maybe it's maintaining your composure when faced with a setback. Each time you practice, you're building that muscle of inner strength. As you develop this skill, you'll begin to notice changes in your life. You'll find yourself less stressed, more focused. You'll attract different kinds of people and opportunities. You'll begin to see challenges as opportunities for growth rather than obstacles to happiness. But remember, this is a journey. There will be times when you falter, when you react before you can catch yourself. That's okay. Be gentle with yourself. Each moment is a new opportunity to practice, to grow, to embody this principle more fully. And as you walk this path, you'll discover something profound. You'll realize that true power doesn't come from controlling your environment or the people around you. It comes from controlling your responses, from choosing your actions consciously rather than being at the mercy of your reactions. You'll begin to understand that most of the things that bother us are ultimately insignificant. They're temporary annoyances that we magnify with our attention. When you choose to be silent and act unbothered, you're choosing to focus your energy on what truly matters. Think about the energy you've wasted in your life on things that ultimately didn't matter, the arguments that led nowhere, the worries that never materialized, the offenses you took that only hurt you in the long run. Now imagine reclaiming all that energy. Imagine channeling it into your goals, your passions, your growth. This is the gift you give yourself when you practice being silent and acting as if nothing bothers you. You reclaim your power, you take control of your life, you become the author of your story rather than a character reacting to every plot twist. But let's be real, this isn't easy. Our world is designed to keep us reactive, to keep us engaged in drama and conflict. The media thrives on outrage. Social media algorithms reward emotional reactions. Our very biology is wired to respond quickly to perceived threats. That's why this practice is so powerful, because it goes against the grain. It requires conscious effort. It demands that we rise above our base instincts and choose a higher path. And here's the beautiful thing: as you practice this, it becomes easier. What once required immense effort becomes second nature. You'll find yourself naturally responding with calm silence, where once you would have reacted with anger or fear. You'll notice that things that used to bother you now barely register. This doesn't mean you become passive or apathetic. On the contrary, you become more effective, because you're no longer wasting energy on unnecessary conflicts or worries. You have more to devote to what truly matters. You become more focused, more purposeful, more aligned with your true self. Think about the people in your life who embody this principle. The ones who remain calm in a crisis. The ones who don't get caught up in petty dramas. The ones who seem to glide through life with an unshakable inner peace. Don't you find yourself drawn to these people? Don't you admire their strength, their composure, their wisdom? You can be that person. You have that power within you. It's not about changing who you are at your core. It's about stripping away the layers of reactivity and fear that obscure your true self. It's about reconnecting with the calm, wise, powerful being that you are beneath all the conditioning and learned responses. As you practice being silent and acting as if nothing bothers you, you'll begin to see the world differently. You'll notice beauty where once you saw only problems. You'll find opportunities where once you saw only obstacles. You'll connect with people on a deeper level because you're no longer caught up in surface-level reactions. This practice also has a profound effect on your relationships. When you're no longer easily bothered, you become a source of stability for others. People are drawn to your calm presence. They trust you because they know you won't fly off the handle or get caught up in drama. You become a leader, whether in your personal life or your professional one. But perhaps the most beautiful effect of this practice is how it transforms your relationship with yourself. When you're no longer at the mercy of every passing emotion or external circumstance, you develop a deep trust in yourself. You know that no matter what life throws at you, you can handle it with grace and power. This self-trust is the foundation of true confidence. Not the brittle confidence that comes from external validation, but the unshakable confidence that comes from knowing your own strength. When you trust yourself, you're willing to take risks, to pursue your dreams, to speak your truth, even when it's unpopular. And here's a secret: when you embody this principle of being silent and acting as if nothing bothers you, you become magnetic. People are drawn to your energy. They want to know your secret. They want to understand how you maintain your composure in a world that seems designed to provoke reaction. This is your opportunity to lead by example, to show others that there's another way to move through the world, that we don't have to be slaves to our reactions, that we can choose peace, choose power, choose conscious action over mindless reaction. But remember, this isn't about perfection. It's about practice. There will be times when you falter, when something catches you off guard and you react before you can catch yourself. That's okay. Each of these moments is an opportunity to learn, to grow, to deepen your practice. The key is to not get discouraged, to not use these moments as evidence that you can't do it. Instead, see them as part of the journey. Celebrate the times when you do manage to remain silent and unbothered. Notice how it feels, how it changes the situation. Let those successes motivate you to keep practicing. As you continue on this path, you'll begin to notice subtle shifts in your life. Things that used to stress you out no longer have the same effect. People who used to push your buttons somehow lose their power over you. Challenges that once seemed insurmountable now appear as opportunities for growth. You'll also notice changes in your body. The constant tension you may have been carrying starts to release. Your breathing becomes deeper, more relaxed. You sleep better. Your immune system strengthens. This is the power of inner peace manifesting in your physical being. Your mind, too, undergoes a transformation. The constant chatter begins to quiet. You find it easier to focus, to be present in the moment. Your creativity flourishes because it's no longer blocked by stress and worry. You make better decisions because you're coming from a place of clarity rather than reactivity. But perhaps the most profound change happens in your spirit. As you practice being silent and acting as if nothing bothers you, you reconnect with your true essence. You remember who you really are beneath all the layers of conditioning and learned responses. You tap into a wellspring of inner wisdom and strength that you may have forgotten was there. This is the true gift of this practice. It's not just about navigating the world more effectively, although it certainly helps with that. It's about coming home to yourself. It's about remembering your inherent worth, your innate power, your unbreakable connection to something greater than yourself. And as you embody this truth more and more fully, you become a beacon for others. Your very presence becomes a reminder that there's another way to live, that we don't have to be at the mercy of our circumstances or our emotions, that we can choose peace, choose power, choose conscious action. This is how we change the world, not through grand gestures or loud proclamations, but through the quiet power of our example. By being silent and acting as if nothing bothers us, we show others that it's possible. We create a ripple effect that can transform our families, our communities, our world. So I invite you to take on this practice, to commit to being silent and acting as if nothing bothers you. Not as a rigid rule, but as a guiding principle. As a North Star to orient yourself by when the storms of life threaten to throw you off course. Start small. Maybe it's taking a deep breath and choosing not to react the next time someone cuts you off in traffic. Maybe it's pausing before responding to a provocative email at work. Maybe it's choosing not to engage in gossip or drama with friends or family. Whatever it is, start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. Each small victory builds your strength. Each moment of chosen silence, of conscious non-reaction, is a step towards mastery. And as you walk this path, know that you're not alone. Throughout history, the wisest among us have understood this truth. They've embodied this principle of inner silence and outer composure. They've shown us what's possible when we choose not to be bothered by the petty annoyances and distractions of life. You are the heir to this wisdom. You have within you the same power, the same potential. It's not something you need to acquire or achieve. It's something you need to uncover, to remember, to embody. So I challenge you for the next week, commit to this practice. Be silent and act as if nothing bothers you. Notice what changes. Notice how you feel. Notice how others respond to you. Keep a journal if you like, tracking your progress and insights. And remember, this isn't about suppressing your emotions or denying reality. It's about choosing your responses consciously. It's about conserving your energy for what truly matters. It's about tapping into a wellspring of inner strength and wisdom that can carry you through any challenge. As you embrace this practice, you may find that your entire life begins to shift. Opportunities may arise that you never noticed before. Relationships may deepen in ways you never expected. You may discover strengths and abilities within yourself that you never knew existed. This is the power of being silent and acting as if nothing bothers you. It's not just a coping mechanism. It's not just a way to reduce stress. It's a transformative practice that can reshape your entire experience of life. So I invite you to step into this power, to embrace this practice, to discover for yourself the profound impact it can have on your life. Remember, be silent and act as if nothing bothers you. Not because you're indifferent, but because you're strong. Not because you don't care, but because you choose where to focus your energy. This is your moment. This is your opportunity to step into your power, to embody your wisdom, to live from a place of unshakable inner peace. The world needs this from you. Your loved ones need this from you. You need this from you. So take a deep breath, center yourself, and make the commitment right now to be silent and act as if nothing bothers you. Watch as your life transforms. Watch as you become the person you've always known you could be. The power is within you. The choice is yours. The time is now. Be silent, be unbothered, be powerful, be you. Thank you for listening. Now go out there and put this into practice. Your new life is waiting for you. In a world filled with constant chatter, endless distractions, and the incessant need to be heard, I want to share with you a profound truth that has the power to transform your life in ways you never thought possible. It's a truth that goes against the grain of our modern society, a truth that may seem counterintuitive at first, but one that holds the key to unlocking the doors to everything you've ever wanted in life. And that truth is simply this: be silent, and you will get everything in life. Now, I know what you might be thinking. How can being silent possibly lead to success, happiness, and fulfillment? It's a fair question, and one that I'm going to explore with you today. But first, let me ask you this. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you felt like the more you talked, the less people listened? Where you felt like your words were falling on deaf ears, and no matter how hard you tried, you just couldn't seem to get your point across? If so, you're not alone. In fact, it's a common experience for many of us. We live in a world that values noise, that equates success with being the loudest voice in the room. And that tells us that the only way to get ahead is to constantly promote ourselves and our ideas. But what if I told you that there's another way? What if I told you that the secret to getting everything you want in life lies not in being the loudest, but in being the most silent? You see, when we're constantly talking, we're not really listening. We're not truly present in the moment. And we're not able to fully absorb the wisdom and insights of those around us. We're so busy trying to be heard that we miss out on the profound opportunities for growth, connection, and understanding that come from simply being still and listening. But when we choose to be silent, something incredible happens. We create space for others to speak, and in doing so, we open ourselves up to new perspectives, new ideas, and new possibilities. We allow others to feel heard and valued, and we build stronger, more meaningful relationships as a result. But the benefits of silence go far beyond just improving our relationships with others. When we're silent, we also create space for ourselves to listen to our own inner voice, to tune into our own intuition and wisdom, and to gain clarity on what it is that we truly want in life. Think about it. How often do we get caught up in the noise and chaos of everyday life, to the point where we lose sight of our own goals and dreams? How often do we allow the opinions and expectations of others to drown out our own inner guidance? When we're silent, we give ourselves the opportunity to cut through the noise and reconnect with our own truth. We create space for introspection, self-reflection, and deep inner work, and we emerge with a clearer sense of purpose, direction, and intention. And when we have that clarity, when we know exactly what it is that we want and why we want it, something incredible happens. The universe begins to conspire in our favor. Doors begin to open, opportunities begin to arise, and everything we've ever wanted starts to flow into our lives with ease and grace. Now, I know that might sound a bit esoteric or woo-woo to some of you, but hear me out. Have you ever noticed how some people just seem to have everything they want in life? How they seem to effortlessly achieve their goals, attract amazing people and opportunities, and live with a sense of joy, fulfillment, and abundance. It's not because they're lucky or because they have some special secret that the rest of us don't know about. It's because they've learned to harness the power of silence. They've learned to quiet their minds, tune into their own inner wisdom, and trust in the journey of life to unfold exactly as it's meant to. And the beautiful thing is, this power is available to all of us at any time. We all have the capacity to be silent, to listen deeply, and to connect with the infinite wisdom and intelligence that lies within us. But it's not always easy, is it? In a world that's constantly pulling us in a million different directions, it can be challenging to find moments of true silence and stillness. It can feel uncomfortable, even scary, to sit with ourselves and confront the thoughts and feelings that arise when we're not distracted by external noise. But that's where the real growth happens. That's where we begin to peel back the layers of who we think we are and discover the truth of who we really are. That's where we begin to shed the limiting beliefs, the self-doubt, and the fear that's been holding us back, and step into our full potential as human beings. And the more we practice silence, the more we begin to see its transformative power in every area of our lives. We become better listeners, better communicators, and better leaders. We become more creative, more intuitive, and more attuned to the needs of others. We become more resilient in the face of challenges, more grounded in our own sense of self, and more open to the endless possibilities that life has to offer. So how do we cultivate more silence in our lives? How do we begin to harness its power and use it to create the lives we truly want? It starts with a simple commitment to making space for it, to carving out time each day to sit in stillness, to quiet our minds, and to simply be present with ourselves. Whether it's through meditation, prayer, journaling, or simply taking a walk in nature, the key is to create a regular practice of silence and self-reflection. It also means being willing to let go of the need to constantly fill the silence with noise, to resist the urge to check our phones, to scroll through social media, or to engage in mindless chatter just for the sake of avoiding discomfort. Instead, we can learn to embrace the silence, to sit with the discomfort, and to trust that in the stillness we will find the answers we seek. We can learn to listen deeply, not just to others, but to ourselves and to the whispers of our own souls. And as we do, something incredible begins to happen. We begin to attract people and opportunities that are aligned with our deepest values and desires. We begin to manifest our dreams and goals with ease and grace. And we begin to live with a sense of purpose, passion, and joy that is truly unshakable. So if you're ready to transform your life in ways you never thought possible, if you're ready to unlock the doors to everything you've ever wanted, then I invite you to embrace the power of silence, to create space for stillness, to listen deeply, and to trust in the journey of life to unfold exactly as it's meant to. It won't always be easy, and it won't always be comfortable. But I promise you this, on the other side of the silence, you will find a life that is richer, more fulfilling, and more abundant than you ever could have imagined. You see, when we're silent, we create space for miracles to happen. We open ourselves up to the infinite possibilities of the universe, and we allow ourselves to be guided by a wisdom that is far greater than our own. We begin to see that everything we need is already within us, and that the only thing standing between us and our deepest desires is our own willingness to be still and listen. And as we cultivate that willingness, as we learn to trust in the power of silence, we begin to experience life in a whole new way. We begin to flow with the natural rhythm of the universe, to surrender to the ebbs and flows of life, and to find peace and contentment in the present moment. We begin to see that every challenge, every obstacle, every setback is simply an opportunity for growth and transformation. We begin to approach life with a sense of curiosity, openness, and wonder, knowing that everything is unfolding exactly as it's meant to. And in that space of trust and surrender, we find a freedom that is truly indescribable. We find a sense of peace, purpose, and fulfillment that comes from knowing that we are exactly where we're meant to be, doing exactly what we're meant to do. So if you're ready to experience that freedom for yourself, if you're ready to unlock the doors to everything you've ever wanted in life, then I invite you to take a deep breath. Close your eyes and simply be silent. Allow yourself to sink into the stillness, to feel the quiet power of your own presence, and to listen deeply to the whispers of your own soul. Trust that in the silence you will find the answers you seek. Trust that in the stillness you will find the strength, the courage, and the clarity to create the life you truly desire. And above all, trust in the journey of life to unfold exactly as it's meant to. Trust that every step, every challenge, every moment of discomfort is leading you closer to your highest purpose and your deepest joy. For in the end, that is the true power of silence, the power to connect us with the infinite wisdom, love, and abundance that is our birthright as human beings. You see, the power of silence is not just about achieving our goals and manifesting our desires, as important as those things may be. It's about something much deeper, much more profound. It's about discovering who we truly are and learning to live in alignment with our highest truth. When we're constantly caught up in the noise and chatter of the world around us, it's easy to lose sight of that truth. It's easy to get swept up in the expectations and opinions of others, to conform to societal norms and pressures, and to forget the uniqueness and brilliance of our own inner light. But when we learn to be silent, when we create space for stillness and introspection, we begin to peel back the layers of conditioning and programming that have obscured our true nature. We begin to remember the essence of who we are beneath the roles and labels and identities we've taken on. And in that remembering, we find a sense of wholeness, a sense of completeness that is truly unshakable. We discover that we are not broken, we are not lacking, we are not in need of fixing or improving. We are already perfect, whole, and complete exactly as we are. From that place of wholeness, we begin to show up differently in the world. We begin to speak and act from a place of authenticity, integrity, and truth. We begin to make choices that are aligned with our deepest values and desires rather than the expectations or approval of others. And as we do, we naturally begin to attract people, circumstances, and opportunities that are in alignment with that truth. We find ourselves surrounded by individuals who support and encourage us, who see and celebrate the unique gifts and talents we have to offer. We find doors opening, paths unfolding, and possibilities expanding in ways we never could have imagined. Not because we've forced or manipulated our way there, but because we've surrendered to the natural flow and rhythm of life itself. And in that surrender, we find a sense of ease, grace, and effortlessness that is truly remarkable. We begin to understand that life is not meant to be a struggle, a constant uphill battle against the odds. It's meant to be a joyful dance, a co-creative partnership with the universe itself. But to truly experience that partnership, to truly step into the flow and magic of life, we must be willing to embrace the silence. We must be willing to let go of the constant need for stimulation, distraction, and noise, and to simply be present with what is. In that presence, we find the courage to face our deepest fears, to heal our oldest wounds, and to transform our most limiting beliefs. We find the strength to let go of the past, to forgive ourselves and others, and to embrace the infinite possibilities of the present moment. And as we do, we begin to radiate a light and a presence that is truly magnetic. We become a beacon of hope, inspiration, and possibility for all those around us, not because of what we say or do, but because of who we are. So if you're ready to step into that light, if you're ready to discover the true power and potential that lies within you, then I invite you to embrace the silence. to create space for stillness, reflection, and inner exploration, and to trust in the journey of life to unfold exactly as it's meant to. It may not always be easy, and it may not always be comfortable, but I promise you this, on the other side of the silence, you will find a life that is more rich, more vibrant, and more fulfilling than you ever could have imagined. You will find a sense of purpose, passion, and joy that springs from the very depths of your being. You will find a connection to something greater than yourself, a knowing that you are part of an infinite web of life, love, and intelligence. And you will find the courage, the strength, and the resilience to face any challenge, any obstacle, any setback that comes your way, knowing that it is all part of the perfect unfolding of your highest path. So trust in the silence, my friends. Trust in the stillness, the quiet, and the calm. Trust that in the absence of noise and distraction, you will find the very essence of who you are and the very purpose for which you came. And from that place of trust, watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. Watch as the pieces fall into place, as the synchronicities and miracles begin to unfold, and as the universe conspires to support you in every way imaginable. For in the end, that is the true power of silence, the power to unlock the infinite potential that lies within each and every one of us. The power to connect us with the very source of life itself and to remind us of the incredible beings that we truly are. And as we learn to harness that power, as we learn to trust in the silence and the stillness, we become unstoppable forces for good in the world. We become agents of change, transformation, and healing, not just for ourselves, but for all those whose lives we touch. So let us embrace the silence, let us welcome the stillness, and let us trust in the journey of life to lead us exactly where we need to go. Let us have the courage to face our fears, the compassion to forgive our mistakes, and the faith to keep moving forward even when the path is uncertain. And above all, let us remember that we are never alone, that we are always guided and supported by a love and an intelligence that is far greater than ourselves. Let us open ourselves up to that love, to that guidance, and to the infinite possibilities that await us in every moment. For in the end, that is the true gift of life, the opportunity to discover who we are, to share our unique gifts and talents with the world, and to leave this planet a little bit better than we found it. And it all begins with a simple choice, the choice to be silent, to listen deeply, and to trust in the unfolding of our highest path. So take a deep breath, my friends, close your eyes and let yourself sink into the silence. Feel the quiet power of your own presence, the infinite wisdom and potential that lies within you. And know that in this moment you have everything you need to create a life beyond your wildest dreams. A life of purpose, passion, and joy. A life of abundance, love, and fulfillment. A life that is truly worthy of the incredible being that you are. So let's embrace the silence, let's trust in the journey, and let's step into the lives we were born to live. Together, let's create a world that is more kind, more compassionate, more loving, and more beautiful than we ever thought possible. And let's do it one moment of silence at a time, one breath at a time, one choice at a time. For in the end, that is the true power of silence, the power to transform ourselves, our lives, and the world around us one precious moment at a time. So be silent, my friends. Listen deeply, trust fully, and know that you are loved, supported, and guided in every moment. And watch as your life unfolds in ways that are more magnificent, more miraculous, and more incredible than you ever could have imagined. Thank you. My friends, I want to talk to you today about a topic that can truly transform your life in profound ways, the power of silence. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Silence. Really? In a world that's constantly buzzing with noise and chatter, how can being quiet possibly make a difference? Well, I'm here to tell you that learning when to hold your tongue can be one of the greatest skills you can ever develop. You see, throughout our lives, we encounter countless situations that test our patience, challenge our beliefs, and provoke us to speak our minds. But what if I told you that in many of these moments, the wisest course of action is to simply remain silent? It may sound counterintuitive, but trust me when I say that choosing not to speak can often speak volumes. Picture this: you're at work and a colleague makes a snide comment about your latest project. Your blood starts to boil and you can feel a scathing retort rising in your throat. But then something stops you. A small voice inside whispers, hold on, take a breath. Is this really worth your energy? And so you swallow your words and let the moment pass. Later, you find out that your colleague was going through a tough time personally and lashed out unintentionally. By choosing not to engage, you avoided a potential conflict and showed compassion instead. Or maybe you're scrolling through social media and you come across a post that really grinds your gears. You start typing out a heated response, ready to give that person a piece of your mind. But then you hesitate. You realize that arguing with a stranger online is unlikely to change their perspective, and it might just leave you feeling drained and frustrated. So you delete your comment and move on, preserving your peace of mind. These are just a couple of examples, but the truth is there are countless situations in life where silence can be your greatest ally. When you're tempted to gossip about someone behind their back, bite your tongue. When you're in the middle of a heated argument with your partner, take a step back and give yourself a moment to cool down before speaking. When you're feeling overwhelmed and anxious, turn off the noise around you and sit in quiet contemplation. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but if I don't speak up, won't people think I'm weak or passive? And to that, I say absolutely not. In fact, it takes incredible strength and self-control to hold your tongue when every fiber of your being is urging you to lash out. It's a sign of maturity, wisdom, and emotional intelligence. Think about some of the most influential figures throughout history, people like Mahatma Gandhi, Rosa Parks, and Nelson Mandela. These individuals all understood the power of silence. They knew that sometimes the most profound statements are made without uttering a single word. By remaining calm and composed in the face of adversity, they were able to make a lasting impact on the world. Of course, this isn't to say that you should always stay silent. There are certainly times when speaking up is necessary and important, especially when it comes to standing up for what's right or advocating for those who can't advocate for themselves. But the key is to learn how to discern when your words will truly make a difference, and when it's better to hold your peace. So how can you start incorporating more silence into your own life? Well, the first step is to practice mindfulness. Pay attention to your thoughts and emotions and learn to observe them without getting caught up in them. When you feel the urge to speak, take a moment to ask yourself, is this something that really needs to be said? Will my words improve the situation, or could they potentially make things worse? Another helpful strategy is to cultivate a sense of inner peace and calm. This might mean practicing meditation, deep breathing exercises, or simply taking a few minutes each day to sit in quiet reflection. The more centered and grounded you feel within yourself, the easier it will be to stay composed and clear-headed in challenging situations. It's also important to remember that silence doesn't always mean disengagement or indifference. Sometimes the most powerful way to show someone you care is simply by being present with them, listening attentively, and offering a compassionate ear. In a world that's so often filled with noise and chatter, the gift of your undivided attention can be incredibly meaningful. Now, I know that cultivating silence isn't always easy. We live in a society that often equates being vocal with being powerful, and it can be tempting to want to make our voices heard at every turn. But the truth is, there's a deep strength and wisdom in knowing when to hold your tongue. It's a skill that can help you navigate even the most challenging situations with grace and poise. So the next time you find yourself in a situation where you're tempted to speak up, take a moment to pause and reflect. Ask yourself, is this something that truly needs to be said? Could my words potentially cause harm or escalate the situation? Or might it be better to simply take a step back and observe? Remember, silence is not weakness, it's not passivity or indifference. Rather, it's a powerful tool that can help you cultivate inner peace, build stronger relationships, and navigate life's challenges with greater ease and clarity. In a world that's so often filled with noise and chaos, the ability to find stillness and quiet within yourself is a true gift. It allows you to tap into a deeper sense of wisdom and intuition, and to approach life with a greater sense of purpose and intentionality. So, my friends, I encourage you to start embracing silence in your own lives. Start small, if you need to. Take a few minutes each day to sit in quiet reflection. or challenge yourself to hold your tongue in a situation where you might normally speak up. Pay attention to how it feels and notice any shifts or changes in your perspective. Over time, you may find that cultivating silence becomes easier and more natural. You may start to feel a greater sense of inner peace and clarity, and you may find that your relationships and interactions with others begin to improve as well. Remember, the power of silence isn't about suppressing your voice or denying your truth. Rather, it's about learning to use your words wisely and intentionally, and about cultivating a deep sense of inner stillness that can guide you through even the most turbulent of times. So let's dive a little deeper into each of these situations where silence can be so transformative. First, let's talk about those moments when you're faced with criticism or negative feedback. It's natural to feel defensive in these situations, to want to justify yourself or prove the other person wrong. But more often than not, responding reactively only escalates the tension and makes the situation worse. Instead, try taking a deep breath and giving yourself a moment to pause before responding. Use that silence to really listen to what the other person is saying without judgment or interruption. Try to understand where they're coming from, even if you don't necessarily agree with their perspective. By holding your tongue and creating that space for listening and reflection, you give yourself the opportunity to respond from a place of greater clarity and wisdom. You may find that the criticism isn't as personal as you initially thought, or that there's actually some truth to what the other person is saying that you can learn and grow from. And even if the feedback is entirely unfounded or mean-spirited, by choosing not to engage reactively, you maintain your own sense of dignity and self-respect. You communicate through your silence that you refuse to be pulled down to the level of pettiness or negativity. Next, let's consider those moments when you're tempted to gossip or speak badly about someone behind their back. It can be so tempting to join in when others are sharing juicy stories or complaints, to feel like you're part of the in-group by participating in the chatter. But gossip is a dangerous game, one that can quickly spiral out of control and cause real harm to the person being talked about. Even if you don't mean any malice, your words can take on a life of their own and create ripple effects that you never intended. So the next time you find yourself in a situation where gossip is being shared, try choosing silence instead. You don't have to necessarily confront the people speaking or make a big show of your disapproval. Simply excuse yourself from the conversation or change the subject to something more positive. By refusing to participate in negative talk, you send a powerful message about your own values and integrity. You communicate that you won't be a part of tearing others down, even in subtle ways. And who knows? Your silence may just inspire others to reconsider their own words and actions. Another situation where silence can be incredibly powerful is when you're in the midst of a heated argument or disagreement. It's so easy to get caught up in the heat of the moment, to feel like you need to prove your point or defend your position at all costs. But more often than not, arguing rarely leads to any kind of productive resolution. It just leads to more anger, more hurt feelings, and more entrenched positions on both sides. Instead, try taking a step back and giving yourself some space to cool down before engaging further. Use that silence to really reflect on what's being said and to consider the other person's perspective with an open mind. You may find that when you approach the conversation from a place of greater calm and clarity, you're able to communicate your own needs and opinions more effectively. You may also be more receptive to finding a compromise or solution that works for everyone involved. Of course, this isn't to say that you should always back down or avoid conflict altogether. There are certainly times when it's important to stand your ground and advocate for yourself or others. But by choosing your battles wisely and approaching disagreements with a spirit of openness and compassion, you'll be much more likely to find a resolution that truly serves everyone's best interests. Another powerful way that silence can transform your life is by helping you cultivate a deeper sense of inner peace and self-awareness. In a world that's constantly buzzing with noise and stimulation, it's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of activity and lose touch with your own inner voice. By carving out time each day for silent reflection or meditation, you give yourself the opportunity to tune out the external chatter and tune into your own thoughts and feelings. You create a sacred space where you can simply be present with yourself without judgment or expectation. At first, this practice may feel uncomfortable or even boring. Your mind may wander or resist the stillness, but over time, as you continue to show up for yourself in this way, you'll start to notice subtle shifts in your awareness and perspective. You may find that you're able to observe your own thoughts and emotions with greater clarity and detachment rather than getting caught up in them. You may start to feel a deeper sense of connection to your own inner wisdom and intuition, and a greater trust in your ability to navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience. This inner stillness can be a powerful anchor in times of stress or uncertainty, a reminder that no matter what's happening in the external world, you always have a place of calm and stability within yourself to return to. And as you continue to cultivate this practice of silent reflection, you may find that it starts to ripple out into other areas of your life as well. You may become more patient and present in your relationships, more focused and intentional in your work, more attuned to the beauty and wonder of the world around you. In fact, some of the greatest creative minds throughout history have relied on silence as a tool for tapping into their own inner genius. Artists, writers, and innovators like Pablo Picasso, Virginia Woolf, and Albert Einstein all spoke about the importance of solitude and quiet contemplation in their creative process. By giving yourself the gift of silence, you open yourself up to new possibilities and insights that may have been drowned out by the noise of daily life. You create the space for your own unique voice and vision to emerge, unencumbered by the expectations or opinions of others. Of course, cultivating silence isn't always easy, especially in a world that's so often geared towards constant stimulation and distraction. It can be tempting to fill every moment with noise and activity, to seek out external validation and approval at every turn. But the more you're able to resist those temptations and carve out even small moments of silence for yourself, the more you'll start to reap the benefits in your own life. You'll find that you're able to approach challenges with greater clarity and resilience, to communicate more effectively and compassionately with others, to tap into your own inner wisdom and creativity. And perhaps most importantly, you'll start to feel a greater sense of peace and contentment within yourself, a deeper knowing that you have everything you need within you to navigate whatever life may bring. So my friends, I encourage you to start experimenting with silence in your own lives in whatever way feels authentic and meaningful to you. Maybe it's taking a few minutes each morning to sit in quiet meditation, or going for a silent walk in nature, or simply pausing before responding in a conversation to really listen and reflect. Pay attention to how it feels to create those moments of stillness for yourself, and notice any shifts or changes in your perspective or experience. And if you find yourself resisting or struggling with the practice, be gentle and compassionate with yourself. Remember that, like any skill, cultivating silence takes time and patience to develop. But I promise you, the rewards are well worth the effort. By learning to embrace silence in your own life, you open yourself up to a whole new world of possibility and potential. You tap into a deeper sense of wisdom, creativity, and resilience that can guide you through even the most challenging of times. And perhaps most importantly, you send a powerful message to yourself and others about the value of taking time to pause, reflect, and simply be present in the moment. In a world that's so often focused on doing and achieving, the act of being silent can be a radical and transformative choice. So let us all commit to creating a little more space for silence in our lives, to listening more deeply to ourselves and others, to honoring the wisdom and creativity that lies within each of us. Let us be the change we wish to see in the world, one moment of stillness at a time. And as we navigate this path together, let us remember the words of the great spiritual teacher Eckhart Tolle, who said, "Silence is the language of God, all else is poor translation." May we all learn to speak that language more fluently, and may it bring us closer to the truth of who we really are. In the end, the power of silence is not about withdrawing from the world or shutting ourselves off from others. Rather, it's about creating the space within ourselves to show up more fully and authentically in all that we do. By cultivating a practice of silence, we develop a greater capacity for compassion, both for ourselves and others. We learn to listen more deeply, to communicate more clearly, to navigate challenges with greater ease and grace. And as we begin to embody these qualities more fully, we naturally start to have a more positive impact on the world around us. We become a force for healing and transformation simply by being more present and attuned to the needs of the moment. So, my friends, I invite you to join me on this journey of discovering the power of silence. Let us be the ones who are willing to pause, to listen, to reflect, even in a world that's constantly urging us to do more and be more. Let us be the ones who have the courage to be still, to trust in the wisdom that lies within, to honor the sacred space of silence that connects us all. And let us remember that in every moment we have the choice to either react to the noise and chaos around us or to respond from a place of inner calm and clarity. May we always choose the latter, and may we inspire others to do the same. As we move forward on this path together, let us hold fast to the knowing that silence is not a weakness but a strength. It is not an absence but a fullness. It is not a void but a source of infinite possibility and potential. And may we always remember that the greatest transformations often begin in the quietest of moments, when we're willing to simply be present with ourselves and with life exactly as it is. So thank you for being here, for showing up for yourself and for the world in this way. May your practice of silence be a source of deep nourishment and renewal, and may it bring you ever closer to the truth of who you really are. Together, let us embrace the power of silence, and let us use it to create a world that is more compassionate, more connected, and more truly alive. Thank you.